Hello and welcome again to my poorly lit kitchen for episode 2, possibly also the final episode of this. Do I call it a series? In my last one I did a couple of weeks ago, I called it Danbowski's Kitchen, or Welcome to Danbowski's Kitchen, or You're in Danbowski's Kitchen, or something. This is really the end of the line here. Other than what I'm going to do today, which is chili, as you can see in the video, unless you want to tune in for another episode called Beans, or scrambled eggs, or taking cat food out of a can and putting it in a dish. I don't know what else. I don't know where else I can take this series. So this is the last one. So sorry to disappoint anybody. And I am going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not doing records. I'm going to make chili. I've got all the ingredients here, which I'll get to in a minute. I always give my history when I talk about music with the bands. So I'll give my a little bit of chili history. When I was a kid, I remember my mother used to make chili, and even all my life, I remember. But she made it, and I loved it. It was always one of my favorite things. She made it though with mushrooms, green peppers, onions as well. You'll see what I'm going to put in it. But then as I got older and wanted to make it myself, I thought that's too much like spaghetti sauce. So I've made some modifications over the years, and now I make it my way. And the reason I'm doing it today, this has become an annual thing. It used to be called Super Bowl Chili Sunday because I used to make it during the Super Bowl. I had a friend or some friends over sometimes. Then I think last year it became, or maybe a couple of years, became Conference Championship Chili Sunday. And then sometimes it was in the week in between Conference Championships and Super Bowl. It's good to eat chili and watch football or be surrounded in football season. So today is the conference championships. It's Eagles and the 49ers are playing right now, or just about to start. It's the first game, the early game, and the second game is the Chiefs and the Bengals. My predictions, my bold predictions. I don't really care about any of these teams. I've been a big Buffalo Bills fan for a long time. I don't particularly care about any of these 4 teams. I do like watching the Chiefs. I love Patrick Mahomes. He's awesome to watch. Don't really care about the 49ers or the Eagles. My prediction, I think the Eagles will win, maybe win easily. Could be a blowout, maybe. I don't think the 49ers are going to win. I think Brock Purdy is, I don't particularly like or dislike him. He's been around. He's only played 6 games, something like that. And even Jalen Hurts, I just don't know if it's his year. I know he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. The Philadelphia defense gets a lot of sacks. That's why I'm going to say Philadelphia. And I'll say I think the Bengals could make the upset. But I think I'll go with the Chiefs. I think that will be a great game. Not the Bills. They sucked horribly last week. That was terrible to watch. So getting to how I make my chili, I'll show you the ingredients and then I'll go through how I make it. I'll start with, this is 1.2 kilograms of not ground beef but ground pork. And the person who was filming this video, I think, has a little bit of an objection to that. We went to buy the stuff last night. And at the supermarket, went to 2 supermarkets. They didn't have regular ground beef. This is the first time I've ever made it with pork. They only had ground sirloin, which is way too expensive for chili, and premium ground beef, which is also too expensive. So I got I'm cheap. I bought the pork. It was less than half the price. Plus, it's got so many other ingredients. As I've told the person filming, you won't even know the difference. She doesn't believe me. So 1.2 kilos of ground beef. As with my first episode making the summer rolls a couple of weeks ago, do whatever you want. There's no recipe for chili. You'll never find 2 people that make it the exact same way. I don't cook by recipes. I don't cook. Actually, I cook a lot. I just don't have a big repertoire. And I don't do anything by recipes or measurement. I just do whatever I put in, however much of anything I feel is appropriate. Now I've also got 3, I guess these are medium-sized onions. Sometimes I use 2 big ones or whatever I can find, but these are 3 medium-sized onions that I'll chop them up. I'll show that later. I use 8 jalapenos. If that's too much for you, don't use any. Or if it's not enough, you can use more. But there's so 8 jalapenos, and I'll show how I cut those. 2 liters of tomato, I guess not tomato sauce, puree de tomate. Yeah, puree. What else have I got? A bottle of Frank's Red Hot, original Frank's Red Hot. Now, I prefer the extra hot. This is regular. I prefer extra hot. But some people, I won't say who, it's Lilia, I won't say who, but some people don't like it extra hot. I do. But for somebody else's sake, who shall remain nameless, Lilia, I get their regular hot.
I will add, I always tell him he can buy the hot sauce. If he wants me to eat it, then he needs to buy the other sauce.
In my normal day-to-day life, I do have extra hot. This is you can see this is a almost empty bottle. I prefer the extra hot for everything, but I already said that. So now I do dump the whole bottle in there, which I'll show the process. 2 cans of black beans. You can buy. I always buy the cheapest brand because who cares? Like once it's all together, it doesn't matter. La Costeña. I eat probably 2 cans of these during the week. Just not like Popeye like this, but as I said, maybe that could be my next episode. If you're desperate to see me cook more, is beans.
Beans are good for you.
They're good for your heart. That's what they say. So 2 cans of beans drained, and 2 cans of corn. Great value. It's just corn. Who cares? If it's 1 peso cheaper, I'll buy it. Also drained. And then I guess a very important thing, a couple of spices. I use comino. Cumin, yes, I forgot the
you
word.
forgot your language?
Yeah, comino. I always use, there are some words, I don't speak Spanish a lot, but there are some words that even when I speak English, I always use them in English. Comino, mochila, garrafón, glorieta,
Carrito.
autopista, carrito. I always say those words in Spanish, so comino. Cumin, and chili powder. How much do you use? Depends how much you like it. How much do I like it? I like it a lot. What I do is I get everything in the pot. I'm going to show the process. Once I get everything in the pot, I put a lot in, coating the top of it. I leave it sit, simmering for 10-15 minutes. I go back, stir it all in because it's sitting on the top and it kind of boils up. Cover the top again. I do that for maybe about 2 hours, and that's around when the chili is done. Some people, chili experts, like to claim that the longer you let it sit, the more flavor it gets. Yeah, 2 hours is enough. As if it's going to taste any better after 3 or 4 hours than 2. 2 hours I think is more than enough time to. It's not more than enough. It's enough time to get the flavor, the essence of all the ingredients all hanging together. So next stop will be preparing everything. That's up next. A quick addendum. How could I forget? Celery. Now, as I mentioned, for a difference from my mother didn't put celery. My mother didn't put corn. My mother used kidney beans instead of black beans. But so basically, I swapped out her mushrooms and peppers, which are more like spaghetti sauce, and add celery and corn. So yes, now the preparation is coming up. All right, little interesting turn of events here. First, before I get to the turn of events, here's what's happening so far. I put a little bit of olive oil. You need a big pot like this. That's called a chili pot, I guess. And I put some olive oil, just enough to cover the bottom, and I've got the meat in there, the pork, the ground pork, and I'm going to brown that up and cook it all. And as I did that, Lily came over and she said, "Do you want some help with something?" I said, "No, I'm good." She said, "Do you want me to wash something?" I said, "No, there's nothing to wash. I haven't used anything yet." And she said, "No, I mean wash the vegetables."
Do you have any idea how many hands have touched this?
Do you have an idea how many vegetables I've eaten in my life and never been sick without washing them?
Well, I want to have peace of mind. These have been washed now.
All right.
Now we'll wash the onions.
I've never heard of anybody washing onions. Especially because you don't eat the skin. Actually, on those ones I do. Those ones are usually pre-peeled.
Yeah, you can peel the skin, but still, even with that...
No, actually, no, you're right. These ones I do. The ones in Canada, see, Mexican onions, they're always bald. They're pre-peeled. In Canada, they always had that papery skin. So, and you actually wash it with soap.
I don't know if that's good or not, but it's good for
make sure they're rinsed. I would rather eat
of course
somebody's germs than eat soap. All right. This is how I cut the onions. Isn't it interesting seeing somebody cut onions? And I'm not a very good chopper. I think Lily is the same. I don't think we're good. So I cut them into slices like this.
You're way better than me.
Again, whatever you like. About that thickness. Whatever. About a centimeter thick. Whoops. I don't. Obviously, you don't take the end piece, and then so I get them like that, and just chop them like this. Try not to cut yourself. That's my only advice. And then just kind of chop
randomly
like this. Yeah, as I said, I'm not a pro. There must be people, if anybody's watching this, which I'm sure there are very few. There's some asshole wannabe chefs out there probably saying, "This guy sucks at chopping," and you're right, I do. I don't care. So that's how the onions look. I like big pieces of onions, big chunks. And if you want to get this, here's the cerdo, the carne molida, cerdo molida. Just brown it. You don't have to cook it. Just enough to get the color out of it. And that was one onion. A couple more. I'm not going to cut all three on camera. But jalapenos are coming up next. As mentioned, next up is the jalapenos. I bought the jalapenos yesterday. We went to the supermarket to buy it. And I said to Lilia, should I get habaneros instead of jalapenos? And the look of horror on her face was just incredible. If you thought if she didn't like the Frank's extra red hot, imagine if she liked habanero pepper instead of jalapeno pepper. So what I do, come in close, just cut off just a little tip on the end, like that. Whoops. Mm-hmm. You should be moving the camera, not me moving the jalapeno to try to get it on the camera. Cut off the end, like that. So then you're left with a tipless jalapeno. Now what I do, I just get one cut down like this. Open shit up. Cut out the seeds and the veins. My cat just knocked something over. You can dispose of that. Now what I do is then I have it like that. And then similar to the onions, just chop it like this. Oops. Sometimes you got to get through the skin a little bit sometimes. Jalapenos I cut much smaller, into much smaller. I guess the onions are chopped and the jalapenos are diced. I'm not sure if that's the correct cooking term. Enchanté. And then so once I get, so that's one jalapeno. I'm not going to show all 12, what I do with all 12, but I do the same thing with the other 12 or 8. How many do I use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. I use 8. So I'm going to do that with 8. Then you get a pile of jalapenos, and I will show you next what I do with them once I get the pile. A little update on the football game. I've been muting it to do these videos. It's currently 7-7. San Francisco just scored. Brock Purdy is out, so San Francisco's on their 4th quarterback of the year. Is it Gus? Can't remember who the quarterback is, the 4th string. They had Jimmy Garoppolo. Who was after him that got hurt? Do you know?
I have no idea what's going on in
Tom
the game
Brady.
even.
Anyway, and it's San Francisco just scored. It's 7-7. Philadelphia stinks. They scored a touchdown their opening drive, and I think they've gone 3 and out. Punted every time since then. Getting back to Chile, not Chile, Chile. So here's, as I mentioned, the big pile of jalapenos cut, as I showed a few minutes ago. It took me like 40 minutes to cut this. A few seconds ago in the video. And then what I do is, now I've got very minimal kitchen space here, so I'm going to put that over there. And that didn't really give me too much more space. Anyway, I need a bigger...
That's when you need one of those knives that just goes click, 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 click.
Yeah, like where you just go like this, chop, chop, chop. Yeah, I can't do that. Oops, here's one little tiny piece. You're standing too close also. Here, a little bit more space. That's a little better. So just, as that girl in Greece said, brusha, brusha, brusha. This is choppa, choppa, choppa. Who said that? Brusha, brusha, brusha. One of the pink ladies.
Yeah.
Jan.
In the sleepover.
Yeah, during the sleepover. Brusha, brusha, brusha. All right. Horrible that this is being caught on camera because I'm really looking very amateurish. I'm sure there are people, it's really bad. You know, you get those ads on social media, and I keep getting one for a Facebook page. I think it's called Grill Nation or the Grill Master or something. Or there's a guy that he makes really good looking stuff. And then when I make the mistake of reading comments, everybody just criticizes the guy. They say you cooked it too long. You didn't cook it long enough. That's not the way I like it. You put too much spice. You didn't put enough spice. You have to be a really mentally disturbed individual to criticize somebody's cooking skills. My God. You know who's going to eat this? Me and Lilia. Not anybody else. And it's the same with this guy on the website. People are just so unbelievably critical. I think I'm doing okay with this now.
I will say the width of each cut is like incredibly precise. Like
that's why it takes me so long.
Let me take like this part is the exact width as this part.
Yeah, well, you know me. I'm very meticulous and methodical. See, I don't like little tiny pieces that have fallen off. So I think this is probably good. If I see any strays that are probably around the edge, yeah, maybe around here, they're maybe not cut, I will cut them. But that's about it. I think, as I mentioned, it's much more important to have the jalapenos small, much smaller than the onions. Jalapenos are obviously very hot or very spicy. Although some people saying this would say, fuck you, they're not spicy at all, you pussy, you know, I eat raw habaneros for breakfast. And Lily can attest, I can eat the spiciest or hottest thing in the world, but you don't want it to over...
The only reason why you're making the mild version is because of me.
No, I don't think the only difference I think is the franks.
I am a disgrace to my race.
All right. Okay, next up, celery is coming up next. Next up is the celery. It gets even more exciting if you can believe it. Celery is like the vanilla of vegetables. And it's amazing how, for something that doesn't really have much flavor, at the same time, it also tastes amazing. And I love the crunch of celery and the coolness of it. So here I've got the celery. I use about that much. Can you kind of show down here to see? Yeah, that's how much I use. This came in a bag, so it was not washed. The celery is not washed.
I know, and the celery, the bag did say wash before using, and this is the one vegetable that he won't wash. So there goes unwashed
I don't take
celery.
Instructions from bags. This, kind of hard to cut celery because it's fibrous. And try not to cut your thumb off.
And also I think your knife is like for bread.
Yeah, it's not chef quality.
But neither you are a chef.
Wonder what that idiot Gordon Ramsay would think of my... I shouldn't say idiot. That loudmouth Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
What would he think of my cutting skills, chopping skills, peeling? He probably wouldn't think much of my washing skills. He'd probably scream obscenities at me for not washing.
I should film your chopping face.
Yeah, don't film my chopping face.
Struggling, the vein has popped.
Or my egg when I'm whisking eggs. Oh my God, I'm aware that I make a really stupid face when I'm whisking eggs, and I bury my my chin in my chest when I'm whisking eggs. All right, so this, if you can handle the excitement, is
That's like about 2 cups.
I like I said, I don't have no idea about measurements. I don't know what, I mean, I know what cups are, but just whatever looks good. So this also I cut up a little bit. This doesn't have to be the pieces don't have to be as small for this as the jalapeno. I probably could have used a little bit more. I gave some of this extra celery for Lily to take home. So that piece is a little
Wonky.
big. All right. I think that's good enough for that. And I'm going to add this to the pile. I don't want to spill any on the floor.
It makes me nervous.
That's my my nightmare, as Lily can attest again. I hate spillage. I don't like seeing things fall on the floor. Not vegetables, not drunk people. I just lost a piece of celery on the floor. That means I have to wash my whole house. Oh, 2 more. Oh, 1 stayed on the counter. Oh, lots on the counter. That's not as bad. Fortunately, the beans and the corn don't take any preparation other than popping the top. So there's the onion. Looks beautiful, no?
Mm-hmm.
Onion, celery, and jalapeno. So, and the beans and the corn, wherever they are somewhere. That, next step, everything goes together. Here it goes. We were just making a little joke before this started. So next, this is where it all comes together. This is where the dance begins. What I do now, again, there's the cerdo molida, the meat. The order, I think, is important, although really it maybe doesn't make any difference. I like to coat the meat with Frank's. All right. So, as I said in the beginning, the whole bottle goes in there. You just open it up, not the dropper, just open it up and pour the whole thing in there. I pour about half and then mix it up just a little bit. And by the way, when I brown the meat, I don't drain it. Some people would drain the fat. They would put the meat in a colander to drain it. I don't drain the fat. For one, I think it's not too much. It's not like it's overwhelming. 2, I think it maybe gives it a little bit more flavor and also makes it a little bit more liquidy, which I like. So there, that's mixed up, and now I'm going to pour the other half of the bottle in. So the meat is absorbing the hot sauce. That reminds me of Ralphie Cifaretto teaching Jackie Jr. how to cook. You put the butter on the spaghetti so that way the pasta absorbs the butter. All right. So mix it up just a little bit until it's all coated evenly. All right. And Lily can get a look at that. Next up, I have the two 1-liter containers of the tomato puree. Don't do that because it'll splash, as it just did on my arm. No, there's always a little bit more. All right, that's one. Can you smell that? The tomato smell? Yeah,
yep.
me too. It's a strong tomato smell. All right, and the second liter.
Smells sweet.
Whoops. Pardon the queef. There's always more in there than you think. All right, so there's that. By the way, notice over here that I washed the cutting board. Wash as you go instead of leaving it for one big mess at the end. So again, mix this all up so the meat, which has already absorbed the franks, is mixed with the tomato sauce. And next we're going to take the big thing of vegetables, pour the whole thing in there. All right, get it all. That's all. And again, my personal thing, maybe it doesn't matter, this is just me, I like to kind of mix it as I go so that everything gets coated evenly. All right, as soon as you don't see any white onions left, the onions should all be covered in red. All right, there we go. It's starting to take shape. Next is the frijoles negros enteros, and as I said, do drain them, as I'm about to do. When I eat these, I mentioned I eat a couple of cans of these a week. I like the liquid. Lily loves the liquid, I guess. Right? Is it water or what? I don't know what it is. But drain it.
Is the water where the beans were cooked?
Yeah. And then you don't have to drain it. There's still a little bit left in there. They don't have to be dry. All right, so that's one. Man, I wish I had a bigger kitchen counter. Once a year is when I wish that. Whoops, let me drain this one too. That's good enough.
Oh, a mountain of beans.
A mountain of beans. And next, same thing with the cans of corn. As mentioned, put in however many you like. I like 2 each, and I got to drain this. Two cans of corn, 2 cans of beans.
They are not the smallest cans, right?
These are not the small cans, but the standard size can, I guess. I'm not sure.
We lost a few bags in there.
There are a few granos. All right.
We won't take those.
I love the corn. I mentioned that my mother never put corn in chili. I love it. It's a little bit sweet, and like the celery, I love the texture and nice color too. Seeing the yellow mixed in with everything.
Look at the muscle.
Hmm?
Look at the muscle on your arm trying to empty the corn. You're flexing.
Richie April. Sopranos references abound. All right, let me drain this one. Just imagine, at least one person, probably Kirk Desmond is maybe watching this, is going to say there, friends, I watched the guy drain beans and corn in his sink today. That was my entertainment on a Sunday.
Well, the butt is almost to the top.
Yeah, and that's it. And now, again, mix it, get a good shot of that.
Mm-hmm. We see a lot of corn, a lot of corn.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll mix it all up. I should have a flame tamer. I mentioned to Lilia about 20 minutes ago that she should have brought one. I don't have one because the flame on my on this stove that I use, which is really just a double burner, that's the kitchen of a single man. It's even when it's on low, it's still fairly high because this doesn't need heat. It just needs constant warmth.
All the ingredients meeting happening in the pot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's about that. That's about all. So that's it. Now the last thing that I do is the spices. As I said, what I like to do. Whoops. I don't think you can use too much. Now this is not. Okay. There we go. I really cover it. By the time I finish putting in this comino, although you don't want too much, because then it tastes salty. By the way, I don't put salt or pepper or anything in this. So just enough comino to cover the top. Yeah, good enough. And I do the same thing with the chili, chili powder. Oh, this comes out much nicer, much better. Less effort to get it out.
Make a nice top layer of condiments.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Prodigy or Ramstein, whoever sings the song Firestarter, I think that's the Prodigy. You do this. And the fire is on. It's about 3:44. So at 3:44. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it like this. Usually this first layer of spice I leave for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. It'll start to simmer a little bit. You'll see it kind of bubbling up in about 10 minutes. And I leave it for about 15. And then I'm going to come back and stir it to mix in this layer, and then I keep adding layer after layer every 10 or 15 minutes, and that's it. So the next time we'll be stirring. Football update, 21-7 Eagles, 2 minutes into the second half. Chili update, take a look. I'm going to make the first stir. Now you can see it bubbles up. It gets these bubbly areas. Yeah, it's not quite bubbling yet. It's not popping up like lava, but I will make the first stir. So this is the first one. So this gets all of that top layer mixed in with everything else. I always say stir from the bottom. Bring it up from the bottom, and then everything kind of changes levels. And you see it's a little bit watery, and that'll thicken up as it sits. This was about 20 minutes ago that I turned the fire on. As I said, Lily didn't bring the good chili pot. She has 2 or 3. She brought the one that's
perfect.
Yeah, it's for cooking. They're all the same, but this one is harder to wash. I remember this one gets this stuff stuck to the bottom. It requires more effort to wash this one.
This is the official Christmas punch pot.
Oh, the ponche?
And it used to be the official chili pot as well, and the ribs pot.
Ah, ribs. Yeah, I've cooked ribs in this pot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this pot has seen a lot of good food.
5 liters, maybe?
I don't know. But anyway, so that's a good stir, I believe. For me, it's not ready to taste yet. I think maybe on the next one. I think it's probably still not warm. No, I mean I can touch it, so it's not that warm. It's been on for 20 minutes. So you know what I'm gonna do? Come with the comino. Again, another, this is getting blocked. The holes are getting blocked.
Plastic.
No. And this comino is not as good. I have a McCormick brand, which I like to keep for my daily intake. I eat comino a couple of times a week. I love it. I put on the beans. I mentioned before that I eat a couple of cans of beans a week. And I always put lots of comino. The McCormick brand one tastes better. I'm a comino expert. Connoisseur. And more chili powder. Oops. And you know what about chili powder? Amazing that you can't get this, or at least this is just a generic brand of chili powder. It's called Tones. I can't remember where I got this one. It's American or Canadian. You can't buy this in Mexico, right? And all the years I've lived here, we've never seen it.
I
Amazing.
think your mother once brought you like 10.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I have, whenever I have friends or family coming to visit from Canada, I often tell them to bring me, I still have this one left, and I have 2 more bags from a friend who visited Delabapo. Dave visited here in 2019, and he brought me a couple of bags of chili powder. So, can't get it in Mexico, the land of chilies. There's something like 300 kinds of chilies in Mexico, but you can't get chili powder in Mexico. So for me, this is hard to come by. So I have to ration it. Yes, coming up next, more stirring. Football update, it's still 21-7 with I think about 7 minutes gone in the first third quarter, second half. And a little update. I'm going to stir it one more time and that's it. But I'll give a little snack update. For we're kind of retiring the snacks now, but we've been snacking between cooking and watching football. And ooh, look at this. These are elote Pringles, and they're not that good. I love Pringles. I wouldn't buy these ones again. They're not so. It's not that they're bad. They're just not particularly good. Lime, mayonnaise, corn, all that mixed in. If you know Mexican elotes, that's what it is. And what else? How many are left? It's about
let me see. Let me show this illustration. It's supposed to be like that kind of corn on the cob that we eat in Mexico.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise and cheese.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Here it says Mexican
that.
street corn. I was reading the Spanish, elote. That's another one that I say in Spanish. So it's Mexican street corn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and what else? We had some cheese ruffles.
Good old rufles de queso.
Cheetos, the puffy. Cheetos. Oh, the Doritos are gone. That's going in the garbage. And I'm going to try for the first time. I love these Arizona drinks. This is a new one. I've never seen this before. This is limonada y fresa. So lime and strawberry. And when I looked at the ingredients, the very, very second to last ingredient is strawberry. So that's a little bit of fake advertising by the Arizona Beverage Company. I love the Arnold Palmer, half iced tea, half lemonade, and the Sandia, the strawberry one. Let me try this one. Sorry, watermelon. First time. Oh, it's very sweet.
Strawberry-ish?
Just fruity. All right, so back to the chili. I'm not going to show this every time I stir it, so this will be the last time. Get it again?
Look at that.
There is, can you get it from this angle? Can the camera pick up the steam coming off it?
Yeah.
And it's boiling? Yeah. So I'll stir it one more time on camera. And I think I can taste it now. I'm not going to touch the pot like I did on the last stir. It's been on now for about 40 minutes.
It kind of looks like it's cooked, like you could eat it now.
You could eat it now. It wouldn't have. I don't think it's 40 minutes is not enough for the flavors to all come together, and it still hasn't thickened up the way that it should. I think you could also put cornstarch in it to thicken it up.
It's like cheating.
Like what?
Cheating.
Yeah.
I think.
Time will thicken that up. I think it's Can I taste it now? No, let me see.
Bring yourself.
No, it doesn't taste like chili yet. Still needs weight. Nah, I mean, you could eat it. It doesn't taste like chili now. We haven't added enough comino ni polvo de chile. We've still got an hour and a half to go before it's ready to eat. Probably, let's say right around the end of the football game. That's when we'll eat. That'll be just before the start of the next one. And where's the chili powder?
You throw enough to cover the surface?
Yeah, pretty much. Till it gets kind of black like this. And that's it. So that was the last stirring. As I said, I'm not gonna show this every time. So the next step in the video will be the chili will be ready, and we will be eating said chili coming up in our time, an hour and 40 in your time, seconds from now. Spoon in hand. And not just any spoon, but a serving spoon. You know what that means? I'm about to serve the fuck up some chili. Fire's off. It's been exactly a little bit over, maybe 2 hours and 5 minutes. So that's what it looks like finally after 2 hours. Not really any different than it looked X number of minutes ago or 2 hours ago. I'll give it one last stir just to mix in that last layer. A little football update. As predicted, the Eagles did easily handle the 49ers. It was 31-7. That game ended about half an hour ago. Bengals and Chiefs just kicked off a few seconds ago. Perfect timing. The 2 hours to let this sit coincided perfectly. I wanted to sit down and eat as that game started. So I gave it a good stir. I will now ladle it into the bowls. You might want to get a good close-up of this.
Oh, look at all the steam.
Yep. Do you want a full bowl?
Maybe half full.
All right. This will be mine. So I'll load that up. So there's my bowl. You want about half of that?
See.
All right. Always seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths when chili is made. You want to start with that?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more.
It's good when it's cold. Cold in quotation marks.
All right. So there we go. So now there's one important element that I didn't mention earlier, and that is tostadas. I bought these. There's a store right beside my house. It takes 12 seconds, really 15 seconds to walk there. And I bought these tostadas. If you don't know what tostadas are, they're tortillas. These are like homemade ones. They fry the tortillas and they become very crispy. So I'll put it through a few of these on the plate. Keep those, got spoons here. Follow along. No need to cut this time.
You get a panning of your place.
All right, and I'll get the tostadas. Oh, and sour cream. And this is what we do. Actually, I'll cut here and we'll sit down and organize, and then I will show the final step, and that's the eating coming up. This is how I do's it. I take one. No, let me take one that's not so broken up. No, they're all the same. I take a tostada. You put cream on it. How much do you put? Depends how much you like cream. How much do I like cream? A lot. Lilia probably even more. So I just spread the cream around, and then it doesn't take too much. Just, I don't know, 2 spoons of chili. 1, 2. Spread it around a little bit. And viola. That's the final product. Now that's steaming hot. I guess I'm going to try to... you have to be careful when you bite these tostadas, because sometimes you take one bite and the whole thing just blows up and all falls apart. So you have to be a little bit careful. So I'll try to get a bite here, and let's see. I usually don't like eating, or seeing people eating on camera is not very nice. I'll try to keep it relatively clean.
Sophisticated.
That's good chili. You can also just eat with a spoon, just like you would eat soup or anything else in a bowl, ice cream, whatever. I think we'll get ice cream for dessert, by the way. I see the game here. It's 0-0, Cincinnati, Kansas City. So that's it. Tastes great with the pork. Doesn't taste any different than with the beef. You were worried about that. Lily's rolling her eyes behind the camera now. So that's it. Lilia will be next to try the chili. Then we're done. Lilia is up.
This is me.
Let's see if she can do it without spilling something. She's a famous or infamous spiller of things. Tremendously messy.
Spiller, crusher into things.
Yeah.
I had already
Falls
spilled
a
cream.
lot.
I'm nervous. When you tell me to not spill,
Oh my God, that's
That's
a
what
lot
I'm
of cream.
gonna
We're gonna
spill.
need another container.
this is good. It's okay. Don't panic. We're good.
And we can see I spilled a little bit of cream into mine. I had to put plates underneath because it was, I mentioned earlier how I hate spillage, and I had some.
Cream distribution needs to be even, somewhat even. I may spill here. Okay, I'm scared of the jalapeno
Nah, it's nothing.
pieces. Chili is very bad for me. See, now because I'm smart, I'm not going to put chili on all the tostada because it's going to start spilling. So we're going to do half. Please don't feel me when I'm eating.
How's the chili? Try it. Hold on. Forget about the tostada. Try just a bite of the chili and see how you like it with your fear of pork instead of beef.
Maybe beef has a stronger flavor.
Give me a break. No difference.
That's what I think.
All right.
But in general, I guess the flavor is the same.
All right. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
Success.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. What do I say? Thank you for watching. I'm not sure. I'm going to get to my chili. Lily is continuing with her chili. She's crunching away here, causing a giant mess. And I'm gonna join too. So that's all for Chili Sunday.